What is going on, YouTube? We are back with another video, and this one's a little bit different. Today I'm sitting down with my guy Chris. Chris is one of our Wholesale Network members and has been in the community for a couple months. And Chris has got a crazy story. He's been reselling his whole life, wasn't doing anything with brand direct relationships at all. He joined the wholesale, went through my brand partner playbook course, and within a couple of weeks, he goes to a trade show and actually lands his first client. And with Chris, the cool thing too is he's doing reselling, he's wholesaling, and he's now also offering services. So he's getting paid retainer, percent of commissions. Now let's go. Yeah, man, I just had a couple questions. I figured, what me and you talk in the Discord a good amount. You're one of the more engaged guys, which is great. It's always good to see input and guys like you who are making progress, and then we can actually see inside your business too, because I feel like then I know how to help you guys out more. First and foremost, just tell me where you were at before you found the Wholesale Network. So I know a little bit about your story, but go ahead and tell me more about it.
Yeah, I've been following Corey's YouTube for quite a while and just studying Amazon for many months. It was transitioning from doing some eBay stuff, but the flipping on eBay is a lot of constant work and not great margins. The wholesale thing just made so much more sense than arbitrage. It's so much less work as long as you have the capital. Basically, I went to a trade show on a whim and I ended up making some contacts there and made a lot of mistakes because I just didn't know enough yet. And I decided to join the Wholesale Network and got your brand partner playbook, I believe it's called. And it answered so many of the questions that I didn't know. It really changed the trajectory of that and gave me the information I needed to seal that deal. Now I'm hooked up with them, and they're a big brand in Poland that's moving to America for the first time. And because of the information that I got, I was able to land with them.
Nice, man. Yeah, it's been really great to see your journey, especially just for how quick it picked up. Like you said, it was within a month before you started having a conversation with a really big brand like that. And then even before that, so what were you doing before you found Amazon?
I have been a programmer for about 14 years, but I had some health issues recently and I went on disability insurance, which kind of freed me up to pursue Amazon a lot more.
You're still working your job?
No, I'm on a temporary leave right now, so I am completely free. I'm doing a little bit retail arbitrage on the side, mostly through Walmart right now. Just some small stuff to get the numbers up and get more familiar with Walmart.
You're one of the guys who started with arbitrage, like most of us inside the Wholesale Network. I think it's a misconception that you have to do one or the other. Like what you guys, you wanted to add wholesale to the mix as Amazon resellers. So it is good to have a hybrid mix of your arbitrage with wholesale. And so
the bigger company you work with, the slower it is because there's all that internal red tape that you got to cover.
Yeah.
The RA really helps fill that gap and just have a little bit of consistent small wins.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're doing arbitrage from legitimate suppliers, big name retailers, you're totally fine. The invoices work, receipts are good. That's the main thing with Amazon, because even with wholesale, if you're not buying directly from the brand, it is much harder to get ungated and have your invoices work. So you really have to well vet the supplier to make sure they're a legitimate source of the brand. It's going to work if you get a complaint on your account, something like that. So it's good to hear that you're having a hybrid mix and having success with both.
I'm basically only doing things that I'm auto on gating. I'm not dealing with any gates because it's just too much hassle, especially Q4. It seems like they really tightened the requirements.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's way tougher in Q4. A lot of stuff that you got ungated on previously will get regated. Like that happens sometimes too. So it's always good to get that. And are you just ungating on your phone, doing like the 10 unit, just auto ungate and it gets approved?
A lot of things I'm just getting auto ungated, just request ungate and no requirement at all.
Yeah. Tell me more about the brand relationship you have. I know a little bit about it. You have a few things going on and you're offering services, right?
Since I'm just starting out, I'm not super confident in any of creation of listings, so I'm getting help on that. You hooked me up with some virtual assistants that are really going to get that kicked off faster. I'm also going to just use that as a learning experience of best practices and help get me better for the future.
How did the conversation go at that trade show, and what were some of the things you were kind of talking about with them?
Amazon is low on their totem pole. They're retail brick and mortar first company. So they just wanted somebody who can just do Amazon and involve them as little as possible.
And that's the thing that so many brands, they feel exactly that way. Amazon's the side hustle, it's the side piece. They could be huge brick and mortar brands, or their direct to consumer site just does so well that they're already dealing with stock issues, So,
Yep.
But as long as a brand, has manufacturing down, they're ready to scale, they absolutely should be on Amazon.
I will say that when I was at the trade shows, people who had already tried Amazon themselves were far more likely to be interested in talking to me than people who weren't on Amazon yet. It seems kind of paradoxical, but the people who are just doing okay on Amazon are way more interested in somebody managing it and really digging in and getting all that, like you said, constantly changing ecosystem.
And did you do your research before you went to that trade show? Did you know what brands would be there, or were you just kind of walking around, grabbing cards, shaking hands, and then going back and doing the research after?
The first one, I actually brought SellerAmp with me and was checking out their Amazon and some of their competitors to find key questions to ask them. And then the second trade show that I went into Smart Scout ahead of time and just did the market research and found some key people that I wanted to talk to and just went to them with that knowledge. A lot of people were surprised that I wasn't just throwing out an Amazon pitch like a lot of people were, but actually asking questions about their specific company. And letting them talk is such a big thing. I overheard a lot of people making the pitches and they were all the same, just saying, this is what I can do for you, and not asking, what do you need? Using that knowledge, I went to somebody who was doing about 10K a month. They were on Shark Tank, but their listing was not optimized. They weren't doing any PPC. All of the competitors showed up before them in the sponsored listings. And I went to the owner and I pointed all this out, and she was like, yes, every single one of those things we know, but we just don't have the bandwidth. And right now they're low on stock heading into Q4, but they're planning on spinning up in Q1. And she was like, I definitely want to work with you Q1 of next year. Keep in touch, because knowing what they need definitely gives you a jump start over everybody else at those conferences.
That was one of the biggest things you learned from the course too, right? What kind of presentations I'm sending to brands and the stuff my team's putting together, because if you can give them a presentation, even if it's just a Loom video going over some points on their listings or a simple PDF, whatever it is, it shows that you are just that much more equipped than the next guy. And you're willing to go in person. So all these things start adding up, and eventually, you just have to deliver on the services. So as long as that goes well, what's next is just following up, doing more of the same thing. And it starts to compound, you'll see, because you can use that brand as a case study. And like you said, it's almost just a learning experience at first.
Yep.
So a lot of people, they walk past that 10K a month brand. It's just not worth it for them. If you can see it as, I'm going to turn that 10 to a 20, I just blew you guys up. That's a story to tell to everybody else. So that's exactly how wholesale and brand partnerships work. I just look at Amazon as you're building up your skill sets, and you can build up skill sets in many different areas, with sourcing, with managing a team, with understanding the actual Seller Central. Because the thing is, a lot of people, they don't spend any time in Seller Central. They don't understand brand registry.
Yeah.
So how would they even provide services to a brand they're working with? The biggest thing about this, and what we want to teach our guys in the community, is growing a skill set of how to sell on Amazon, how to help grow brands, because there is a direct formula to these things. Like if you're looking at a brand, exactly like you mentioned, that's a perfect example. They're on Shark Tank, so there's some credibility there. There's some search volume probably. You have to have the cash flow and understand the cycles to be able to fund different deals, take different opportunities, because there's quick money, there's long money. Not throwing shade on one or the other. It's
really a lot of the skills overlap and build on each other. long money and short money has always been a philosophy. It, for me, is that you put a lot of effort into the long money, a little effort into the short money, and then eventually it'll catch up.
What's next for you? What are kind of the goals with Amazon? I know a lot of people are quitting Amazon. Some people are moving on. Where do you stand right now in terms of your business?
My long-term goals are more direct brand partnerships, basically an agency model, just really strengthening those relationships and making sure I'm giving them what they need and that I'm listening to them and their needs. Just deep partnerships instead of just quick bucks.
You're doing agency services as well as wholesale, right?
Right.
So that's cool. You have a setup with the brand. You're just taking a percent of sales, or what's the setup that you're doing with them there?
With this one, it's just percent of profits, but I'm open to anything, which opens a lot more doors. I have a couple of wholesale accounts and then just the RA for every day.
Yep, absolutely. And something you just hit on briefly, which I want to do more in the community too, is diversifying. So like once you build up this successful business, right, it is smart to take some chips off the table. So when do you do that? Where do you put those chips, in terms of investments and assets and other things like that?
Oh, most definitely. I'm a bit of a serial entrepreneur. I've always had a little bit of a side hustle here and there, but I'm always looking for new investments, new revenue streams, way more ideas than funds. So eventually I'll be branching out to all sorts of things.
And if you guys are interested in joining the Wholesale Network, click the link below and apply. We're taking everyday resellers and changing you guys into wholesalers and legit brand partners every single week inside our community.